You have 5 seconds. Look closely at this frame and locate the hidden death before it's too late. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. The inanimate leaf that the predator just bypassed operates as a special ops assassin commanding the planet's ultimate stealth code. Welcome to One Big Question. Today we step into nature's military laboratory to decrypt the advanced technology of cloaking in plain sight. Face the master of physical blending tier, the leaf insect, a biological entity that rewrote its entire hardware architecture to discard its insect identity.
The
Perfect
microscopic
hardware
analysis
engineering
reveals a
blueprint.
cellular structure
Evolution
mimicking
granted it
botanical
more than a basic
reinforcement,
green camouflage.
enhancing the
It
exoskeleton's
cured an
tensile
epidermal
strength
system
and the
replicating every
exoskeleton's
leaf
tensile
vein
strength.
network.
Texture
Scan the
simulation,
biosecurity details.
100%
Along the leaf
accurate.
insect's edges run brown patches simulating necrosis, tears, and fungus spots identical to a decaying leaf. Geometric optimization algorithm. The entire framework, from limbs to abdomen, flattened to its peak limit to erase all physical shadow casting under daylight. Right beside it, another structural engineer lies in ambush, the stick insect, an organism decrypting dry twig cryptography to conceal life. Tomography graphics display the stick insect's surface as rough and rugged, commanding nodes and micro cracks replicating tree bark to a quantum molecular scale. The visual firewall installs. The radar arrays of predatory birds wielding the sharpest scanning bands plunge into complete blindness.
No object detected.
Camo data wall. Yet commanding hardware for facial defense falls short of survival. Nature pre-installed an advanced software algorithm into their neural network. Synchronized behavior. As wind currents sweep the canopy, mechanical sensing hairs on their limbs gauge the oscillation frequency of surrounding flora with zero latency. Synchronization protocol execution. The insect's neural server loads the command, forcing muscle bundles to sway rhythmically to the exact amplitude of real leaves. Observe via the enemy's lens. The motion sensor lock of apex killers is completely deceived. To their OS, this represents nothing but static background mesh. Stealth scales to absolute limits. Even other jungle residents calmly step onto the leaf insect's back, logging an error response code. This is inanimate flora. Hidden matrix path optimization. Facing threat variables, the stick insect aligns its front limbs along its somatic axis, converting its mechanical framework into a soulless line, infiltrating the epidermal cell core. Pigment compounds like carotenoids distribute tightly within the membrane, absorbing and reflecting light bands identically to chlorophyll. Natural bombardment detonates. Under severe tropical downpours, the sterile chitin armor sheds water flawlessly, preventing the survival node from flooding with data. The frontier between survival and death is separated by mere mathematical millimeters. The apex killer bypasses the target in blindness, leaving the security border intact. Engagement interlude, pause for a second to reflect. In life, have you ever been forced to conceal yourself, blend into the crowd, and hide your ego to protect yourself from harsh variables out there? Leave a comment and subscribe. Knowledge counterattack protocol initialized. The lens slides straight into a high-tech bioengineering lab, where engineers decode this hardware mechanical algorithm. Advanced biomimicry spatial application. Humanity copies the insect's cellular geometry to weave nanofibers that shatter the infrared scanning bands of military reconnaissance. The security patch for special ops glows. High-tech fabrics automatically regulate light loads, establishing a peak invisible perimeter against thermal radars. Future material compression engines load. The stick insect's synchronized sway algorithm also inspires path programming for autonomous stealth. Reconnaissance drones. The first grand paradox, the fragile hiding of silent prey through engineering's piercing lens, transforms into a supreme security cipher for future defense frameworks. Yet the microrealm's stealth matrix never halts at passive defense or silent hiding. It prepares to upgrade to a more active, insidious interface. Infiltrate the Pigment hacker sector, the flower spider, an entity commanding the capacity to crack reality's color palette to install daylight traps. Penetrating the intracellular chemical factory, this organism lacks fixed coloration. Its skin operates as a bioelectronic display housing exclusive liquid pigment vesicles. Color hacking algorithm. Shifting to a new coordinate, the spider's bioserver triggers an Ommochrome secretion protocol, synchronizing skin tones to a 100% environment match.
Resource
the sterile
detected.
cloaked trap
Nectar.
installs.
Area
The visual
status,
processing
safe.
array of an incoming honeybee logs an absolute safety message, displaying 0 error variables. Logistics purging campaign fire. Within a millisecond, the invisible assassin materializes at the spatial node, gridlocking the target before any escape reflexes detonate. OS freezing protocol. Lethal neurotoxic payload injects straight into the central neural server, killing all motor electrical impulses of the prey within seconds. Fuel loading logistics finalized. The flower spider calmly reclaims resources, installing an absolute security perimeter right upon the sun-drenched blossom. Future tech patch glows. The spider's color-shifting engineering inspires the architecture of flexible stealth coatings for next-generation combat vehicles. Yet the cloaking realm harbors a final tier more brutal and insidious, entities converting into the prey's very dreams. Slide into part 2 of the stealth matrix with one big question. Bypassing passive cloaking tactics on dry bark, the stealth matrix guides us into the most advanced sector, where invisibility isn't utilized to hide, but to hunt. Face the apex of visual manipulation, the Orchid Mantis, a biological entity armored with hardware engineered to identically replicate gorgeous flower petals. Peak geometric replication engineering. Its femoral lobes flatten and curve into perfect heart shapes, entirely erasing the mechanical contours of a predatory organism. Chroma scanning graphics display the mantis's exoskeleton wielding a smooth gradient from pure white to soft magenta, installing a flawless camouflage interface. Yet facial defense hardware accounts for only half the asset sequence. This assassin commands a more insidious electronic weapon, a spectral manipulation algorithm. Exclusive UV spectrum scanning tech. While human eyes remain blind, the insect world processes reality via UV bands. Real flowers deploy UV to map landing pads for pollinators. Decrypt the spectral matrix. Under the UV band, the orchid mantis eschews basic blending. It actively reflects and amplifies UV rays brighter than the real flower. Honeypot protocol detonates. To an incoming butterfly or honeybee, the orchid mantis materializes on their visual radar as a superflower packing massive nectar wealth.
The
Prey navigation system error. Manipulated via peak visual illusions, the prey automatically accelerates at breakneck speeds, charging into death's barrel while expecting a nutrient paradise. Target coordinate alignment. The assassin isolates all kinetic energy, calmly allowing mechanical sensing hairs to gauge the prey's approach distance with 0 latency. Impact variable detonates the command sequence. The millisecond the prey's limbs strike the simulated blossom, the mantis's intracellular security latch snaps open violently. Logistics purging campaign fire. Operating at a crisp tenth of a second, dual serrated raptorial scythes deploy mechanically, pinning the target under peak compressive force. System gridlock algorithm. The prey's entire escape reflex collapses into a global network jam. The daylight-cloaked assassin initiates its resource reclamation protocol. Biological engine refueling finalized. Nature's brutal symphony proves. Occasionally, the most gorgeous, sweet interface packs the most malicious code sequence. Shifting from the wild, the lens slides straight into a sterile laboratory, where quantum engineers decode this UV reflection matrix. Advanced biomimicry engineering. Humanity copies the Mantis's UV amplification algorithm to configure sophisticated multi-spectral decoy target systems. Military security patch loads. Nano-smart materials automatically spoof the multi-spectral scanning arrays of thermal-seeking anti-air missile systems. The next grand paradox. The flower assassin's most ruthless deception tactic, through engineering's piercing lens, transforms into top-secret cloaking technology protecting national defense. Yet, the microrealm's camouflage matrix never terminates at gorgeous illusions. It prepares to plunge into the dark sector of a far more macabre, horrific algorithm. Engagement interlude. Pause for a second to look deep into reality. In human life, is beauty the most lethal and blinding weapon we can encounter? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to One Big Question right now. Face the assassin of the macabre sector, the assassin bug, Acanthaspis patax, an organism cloaking itself via peak brutal tactic, the mummy algorithm. Infiltrating defensive hardware architecture. This entity rejects autonomous skin shifting. It deploys the physical corpses of prior victims to construct a secure armor fortress. Reactive armor plating algorithm. The compressed mummy stack on its back operates as a mechanical buffering sequence, completely dissipating all external kinetic impact energy. The enemy's sensor array is
Anomaly
compromised.
detected.
As a jumping spider,
Geometry
the local
unknown.
apex killer advances.
Cancel
The
attack
chaotic
command.
geometry of the necrotic
Known.
stack completely
Cancel
shatters its
attack
target
command.
recognition algorithm. Beyond visual deception, this carcass stack discharges an olfactory matrix of formic acid and antilarm pheromones, installing a peak chemical hacking protocol. Trojan horse protocol detonates. Packaged in a familiar chemical signature, the assassin bug calmly penetrates the fire ant colony's security firewall without triggering any alert pulses. Deep logistics purging campaign fire. Targeting an isolated worker node, the bug fires its microhydraulic barrel to pierce the defense, injecting an organ liquefying enzyme payload. Endothelial liquefaction algorithm. Within split seconds, the prey's entire internal protein asset structure dissolves violently, converting into a sterile fluid fuel current. Maximum resource reclamation. The assassin vacuums the victim's entire chemical logistics current, leaving behind a hollow chitin shell permanently disconnected from life. Armor expansion algorithm update. Rejecting waste, the bug secretes organic cement, lifting the hollow shell to load directly into the defensive stack infrastructure on its back. Security framework reinforced to peak limits. Every successful purge recharges the ballistic armor infrastructure, converting the prey into an impregnable mobile fortress. An absolute security perimeter installs inside the death zone. The mummy assassin slides past all apex scanning lines via a security dossier forged from bones.
Zoom
The
in on this
natural
nexus
cycle
point.
yields
The
to
shielding is
human
compromised
intelligence.
Rerouting
The lens
auxiliary
slides
power,
directly
but
into
at one
defense
metadata,
headquarters,
duration
where engineers
8T hold
decode
long,
this
duration
multi-layered
8T
armor
hold
architecture. Mechanical biomimicry engineering applications. Humans deploy the bug's modular stacking algorithm to construct composite armor arrays for combat, vehicles dissipating shockwaves. Information security patch loads. The bug's olfactory frequency hacking inspires the programming of electronic countermeasure devices broadcasting false signatures to cloak hardware. The paradox of macabre brutality. The algorithm utilizing corpses for stealth through engineering's piercing lens transforms into a safety benchmark protecting human lives. From the floral UV illusion to the underground mummy fortress, the camouflage matrix validates a supreme law. The invisible entity rules sovereignty. When you bravely strip away the terrifying external interface to penetrate the source code core, you realize every evolutionary variable operates with absolute precision. The entire forest fortress boots up a fresh energy charging cycle under the dawn light, primed for the next evolutionary chapters. The Part 2 decryption loop closes, opening the corridor to the epic grand finale, where all stealth algorithms converge back to a single consciousness server. Accelerate with one big question. Traversing the dual paths of multi-spectral illusions and mummy fortresses, the stealth matrix guides us to the deepest core, where quantum mathematics and biomechanics intersect. Decrypt the secret at a nanoscale level. The exoskeleton of these stealth masters contains more than basic pigments. It is architected from microphotonic crystal structures that literally bend light paths. Reflection cancellation algorithm. Nature engineered microscopic geometric surfaces to absorb entire spectral bands, erasing all physical shadows and converting the organism into an invisible entity. Leaving brutal ambushes inside the primal forest, the lens slides straight into modern civilization's headquarters, where human engineers decode this top-secret cryptographic matrix. Quantum biomimicry engineering. Defense engineers copy the leaf insect's cellular geometry to weave adaptive quantum stealth fabrics that shatter all reconnaissance tracking arrays. Furthermore, the flower spider's active cloaking algorithm inspires modern medicine to construct microscopic guided nanorobots maneuvering inside the body. Biomedical security patch loads. Nanobots are programmed to hide from the human immune network, slipping past the white blood cell firewall to deliver targeted medicine directly to malignant tumors. A grand epic paradox decrypted. The cloaking technology, once utilized to deceive and strip survival, converts into a golden key safeguarding humanity from the grave's edge. The microrealm stealth matrix validates a supreme law of the biosphere. The ultimate power occasionally bypasses overt display, residing completely within the capacity to withdraw. The planet's operating system never writes a solitary command sequence that is redundant. Every cloaked entity operates as a regulatory valve balancing global energy currents. Human consciousness prejudice codes it as deception or decay, yet the Cosmos lens defines it as resource management art to keep the ecosystem free of system errors. As the frontier between illusion and reality shatters completely, humanity inherits more than advanced technology. It captures a profound breakthrough in consciousness. Nature's molecular symphony reminds us, beneath the crudest, most terrifying or brutal interfaces always lies concealed a perfected mathematical blueprint. The natural framework never executes via meaningless chaos. Every act of hiding, every invisible trap strictly follows a global security protocol. When you bravely bypass raw external fear and look deep into nature's source code core, you realize every fracture, every adversity embeds a pre-installed healing protocol. Your inner security framework operates similarly. There will be life chapters that force your operating system offline, completely disconnected from the external world. Do not panic and code it as isolation or failure. That operates as the necessary stealth algorithm, a sterile pause to protect your ego and accumulate inner energy resources. A perfect unification matrix of creation. Once the hiding sequence finalizes its self-patching protocol, your soul automatically upgrades into a highly resilient and piercing version. From a single leaf swaying in the wind to a daylight pigment shifting matrix, all entities execute commands under a single server of ultimate realization. Maintain a curious consciousness, an absolute piercing view to realize the pristine beauty hidden behind life's most terrifying stealth interfaces. The 1,000-mile journey across the invisible assassin's stealth matrix closes, leaving a profound breakthrough and ultimate serenity inside your soul. So, what is the next one big question for you? Do we dare withdraw into our inner darkness to locate our very own rebirth light? One big question decoding wonders, creating the future. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to never miss the next grand masterwork. Our knowledge internet grid expands toward infinity every day, driven by your ideal companionship and synchronization down in the comment section. Broadcast this energy current to souls searching for realization and healing out there, together clearing all system error shadows. Information transmission protocol finalized. Every subscribe node operates as a firm anchor, keeping our knowledge fortress enduring aggressively. Always remember, beneath the crudest, most terrifying interfaces always lies concealed a perfect mathematical blueprint of Great Mother Nature. Life will continuously play its immortal symphonies inside the dark soil, silent yet fierce and pristine. Security routing locked tight. The organic reactor finalizes its fuel loading cycle, settling the entire framework into a safe, predictable status. The future of medicine and quantum biotechnology glows brilliantly, welcoming humanity's next pioneering footsteps. Closing today's episode scientific log. May your consciousness remain forever healed and piercing through every transformational cycle of reality. No entity is abandoned. Zero variables are meaningless inside the supreme sovereignty matrix of Great Mother Nature. The final camouflage envelope fades, converting into a prism reflecting the entire Nano realm's tech epic beauty. Evolution operates as an infinite fractal loop. The system continuously self-patches, self-upgrades, and architects more perfect survival chapters. Thank you for watching. One Big Question is proud to operate as your companion on the journey to unfetter and decode reality's grand codes. Security target lock protocol activated, broadcasting sequence finalized. See you in the next earth-shattering knowledge epics.